I've been trying to reach you.
The rain started before midnight, soft at first, like a whisper against the glass, then harder, faster, as if the sky itself was warning her. Olivia sat by the window, her reflection flickering with each flash of lightning. She wasn't supposed to be awake. Arnold had told her he'd be working late again, another emergency meeting at the firm. She had stopped asking questions months ago, but tonight, something felt off. Her phone buzzed once on the table beside her. Unknown number. She almost ignored it until she saw the message. You deserve to know the truth about Arnold. Check the top drawer in his office. Her heart froze. A second later, another text followed. Don't trust anyone, not even me. She rose slowly, the sound of rain mixing with the echo of her heartbeat. The mansion was silent. Too silent. Every creak of the floor felt like it would give her away. The moment she opened the study door, the scent of Arnold's cologne hit her. Strong, arrogant, familiar. She reached for the drawer. It was locked. She hesitated, then pulled out the small golden key from her pendant, the one Arnold gave her on their 5th anniversary. The key to my heart, he had said. The drawer clicked open. Inside was a stack of envelopes, a silver pen, and one photograph. Olivia stared at it, her throat closing. Arnold, smiling, holding another woman close. Her hand trembled. The woman, young, elegant, blonde, her name printed neatly on the back of the photo. Vanessa. Thunder cracked outside. Olivia dropped the picture, gasping as tears blurred her vision. When Arnold came home hours later, she was waiting in the dark. Where were you? She asked, voice steady, too steady. He flinched at her tone. Work, I told you. Don't lie to me again, Arnold. His jaw clenched. You've been drinking? No, she whispered. But you have been lying. She slid the photograph across the marble table. The silence that followed was louder than any thunder. Arnold's face went pale. He stared at the picture for too long. Finally, he sighed. You went through my things. That's all you have to say? Her voice broke. Not an explanation, not even regret. Just that. He stood, trying to compose himself, his usual charm cracking at the edges. Vanessa means nothing. It was a mistake, a stupid, temporary mistake. A mistake that smiled for the camera, she snapped. He took a step toward her, eyes hardening. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. The board. I understand perfectly, she cut him off. You wanted power, and I was just part of the packaging. He slammed his fist on the table. Don't you dare talk to me like what? Olivia's voice rose. Like your wife? Or like the fool who believed you loved her? For a moment, his eyes flickered with something darker. A flash of rage she'd never seen before. Then he exhaled, grabbed his coat and walked out into the storm. When the door closed, Olivia collapsed, sobbing. The walls around her felt smaller, the silence heavier. But that night, she didn't know the storm had only just begun. The next morning, the world knew. News alerts, social media posts, paparazzi at the gates, billionaire CEO Arnold Hartfield arrested on domestic violence and sexual exploitation charges. Olivia's breath caught as the screen lit up with his face. Dishevelled, furious, handcuffed. Her hands shook as she scrolled, the woman pressing charges. Vanessa Reed. She whispered her name like a curse. The phone rang again. This time her friend Clara. Ollie, are you okay? Olivia tried to answer, but the words stuck. Clara hesitated. It's everywhere, sweetheart. They're saying things that you knew, that you covered for him. Is it true? Tears slipped down Olivia's cheeks. I didn't know anything. I trusted him, Clara. Clara sighed. Then you need to disappear for a while. Let it blow over. But Olivia couldn't. She couldn't hide. She needed answers. Later that evening, she drove to Vanessa's apartment downtown. The hallway smelled of cheap perfume and cigarette smoke. Her heart pounded as she knocked. Vanessa opened the door, her face calm, cold, almost smug. Well, the Mrs. Hartfield didn't think I'd see you here. Olivia's voice trembled. Why did you do this? Why destroy him and me? Vanessa leaned against the doorframe, eyes gleaming. He destroyed himself. And you were collateral damage. Olivia's breath hitched. You loved him. Vanessa's smile faded. I believed him. He said he'd leave you, that we'd start over. But he didn't, so I did what I had to do. You lied to the police. I told the truth that hurts him the most, Vanessa said softly. And maybe the truth you never wanted to see. Olivia's eyes filled again, but she stood her ground. You think this will give you peace? You think pain evens the score? Vanessa's expression flickered, a flash of guilt, then steel. Peace? No, But power? Maybe. Olivia stepped closer, whispering through clenched teeth, "Then you're no better than him." For a long second they stared at each other, two women who loved the same man, both shattered by him in different ways. Olivia turned and walked away before her tears could fall again. That night she couldn't sleep. Every echo in the mansion sounded like memories haunting her. Arnold's laughter, his voice, his promises, all of them replayed in the darkness. By dawn, she'd made her decision. She drove to the police station, walking past reporters and flashing cameras. She wanted to see him one last time. Arnold sat behind the glass, his eyes hollow, his arrogance replaced by something broken. "You came," he murmured. "I needed to know if any of it was ever real," she said quietly. He looked down. "I never meant to hurt you, Ollie, but you did, again and again." He clenched his fists. "I made mistakes, but I didn't touch her. I swear to you, I didn't." Olivia's chest tightened. Then why would she lie? Arnold's voice cracked. "Because she wanted to own me. And when I told her it was over, she decided if she couldn't have me, she'd destroy me." For the first time, Olivia saw fear in his eyes. "She's not just angry," he whispered. "She's dangerous." Outside, the reporters shouted questions. Olivia stood slowly, her reflection merging with his through the glass. "If that's true," she said, "then you finally know how it feels to live with a lie." She turned and walked away. Cameras flashed as she stepped into the rain. Her heart was breaking, but something inside her was waking up. If you've been following Olivia's story so far, make sure to subscribe and drop a comment below. Do you think she should forgive Arnold or walk away for good? Because what happens next will change everything. The days that followed felt like a blur of noise and silence. Reporters shouted her name through the gates. Tabloids printed half-truths, and every channel played Arnold's face beside headlines that made her stomach turn. Billionaire predator or victim of lies? The untold scandal behind the power couple. Inside the mansion, Olivia felt like a ghost haunting her own life. Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Board members, lawyers, strangers pretending to be sympathetic. She ignored them all until Clara's voice broke through one afternoon. "Ollie, they've frozen your joint accounts. This company's collapsing. You need to move fast before they drag you down too." Olivia stood by the window, her eyes on the empty driveway where Arnold's car used to sit. "They can take the money, Clara. They already took everything that mattered." "Ollie, listen to me." But Olivia hung up. She wasn't ready to move on. Not yet. Not until she understood why. 2 nights later, she got her chance. An unmarked envelope arrived under her door. Inside was a flash drive. No note, no sender, just a single file named Proof. Olivia hesitated before plugging it into her laptop. The video began with security footage, Arnold's office, late at night. He was sitting across from Vanessa, papers between them. She was crying. The audio crackled. "Arnold, I told you this ends here. You knew the rules." Vanessa, "You used me, Arnold. You promised me a future. You wanted attention. You got it. Now leave before I make you regret it." Vanessa's expression changed. The tears vanished, replaced by a cold smile. "Then I'll make you regret me." The clip cut off abruptly. Olivia's breath came fast and uneven. Someone had recorded this. But who? Before she could think, her phone rang again. This time an unfamiliar male voice. "Mrs. Hartfield, my name's Detective Rains. We need to talk." An hour later, Olivia sat in a small interview room at the precinct. Rains slid a folder toward her. Inside, copies of financial transfers, hidden accounts, and messages between Vanessa and one of Arnold's competitors. "She wasn't acting alone," Rains said. "Vanessa was paid to set him up. The exploitation charges? Manufactured. The bruises in her photos? Self-inflicted." Olivia stared, numb. "So Arnold's innocent?" Rains sighed. "In the legal sense, yes. In the moral sense, that's between you and him." That night, Olivia drove back to the mansion. The city lights flickered behind her like fading memories. Arnold had been released on bail. She found him standing in the garden, his once proud figure smaller now, humbled by scandal. When he turned and saw her, his voice trembled. She stopped a few feet away. "You were telling the truth?" He nodded slowly. "About the charges, yes. About everything else." He looked down. "No," Olivia crossed her arms. "They set you up, Arnold, but Vanessa didn't create the cracks. You did." "I know." His voice cracked. "You have every right to hate me." "I don't hate you," she whispered. "I hate what I became trying to love you." He stepped closer. desperate. "I can fix this. We can start over." "No." The word came out like steel. "You can't rebuild a life that was built on lies." For a long moment, neither spoke. Only the sound of rain on glass again, poetic, cruelly familiar. Arnold finally exhaled, defeated. "Then what happens now?" Olivia met his gaze, her eyes steady. "Now? I live." She turned and walked back into the house. Upstairs, she packed her suitcase slowly, deliberately. Every folded dress, every piece of jewellery felt like a goodbye to who she used to be. Before leaving, she paused by their wedding portrait, smiling faces frozen in time. She took it off the wall and set it face down. The next morning, the tabloids had a new headline: Olivia Hartfield files for divorce. Billionaire empire crumbles, but Olivia didn't see it. She was already on a quiet road out of town, her car humming beneath the soft morning light. Halfway through the drive, Clara called again. "Ollie, I saw the news. You really left?" Olivia smiled faintly. "I had to." Clara exhaled, relief and pride in her tone. "You sound different." "I feel different," Olivia said softly. "I think, for the first time, I'm not living someone else's dream." They stayed silent for a while, the sound of wind rushing through the phone line like freedom itself. "Ollie," Clara said finally, "what are you going to do now?" Olivia glanced at the horizon. "Whatever I want." She ended the call and kept driving. Later that evening, she checked into a small coastal inn, nothing fancy but peaceful. She sat by the balcony, the sea stretching endlessly before her. The sound of waves filled the silence that used to frighten her. Now it comforted her. She opened her journal, something she hadn't touched in years, and began to write. "I loved a man who loved himself more than anyone else. I believed in a dream that wasn't mine. But sometimes it takes losing everything to find out who you are." As she wrote, a faint smile touched her lips. Not of joy, but of release. Days turned into weeks. She started consulting for small businesses, something she had always wanted to do before her life became defined by someone else's name. She found purpose again, not in luxury, but in quiet truth. Then one morning, a letter arrived. No name, just a single line written in careful handwriting. "Thank you for walking away. You showed me I could too." Olivia stared at it for a long time. She didn't know who it was from. Maybe another woman, maybe someone who watched her story unfold online. But it made her realize something powerful. Even broken hearts can light the way for others. That evening, she stood by the ocean again. The sun dipped low, painting the water in gold. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Goodbye, Arnold." The wind carried her words away. She no longer needed closure. She had peace. Olivia turned from the sea and walked back toward the inn. Not as a wife, not as a victim, but as a woman reborn. Her story wasn't over. It was just beginning. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more powerful tales like Olivia's.